$50,000. Let that sink in, because that's not just a car purchase, that's a decision that's going to haunt you or reward you for the next 5 to 7 years. After 30 years in this game, I've watched too many people fall in love with a truck at the auto show, get seduced by that redesigned body, that gorgeous interior. Then 6 months later, they're lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering how they got into this mess. The 2026 4Runner is one of the most hyped trucks of the decade, but hype and excitement have destroyed more bank accounts than any recession ever could. Right now, people are draining savings, stretching budgets to the breaking point, convincing themselves they can make the payments work, all because they want this truck so bad they've stopped thinking clearly. Look, I'm not here to crush your dreams. What I am here to do, tear apart every single cost tied to this truck, so you walk away knowing whether this is the smartest purchase you'll make or the most expensive regret in your driveway. Because the worst financial decisions, they're made by people who lack information. Information dealers pray you never find. Let's get into it. Real quick, be honest with yourself. Have you already built this truck on Toyota's website late at night, adding packages, watching that number climb, telling yourself you'll figure out the money part later? Have you told your spouse the real number yet, or you're still rehearsing that conversation in your head? These are the questions nobody talks about, but everybody thinks about. What if Toyota drops a better deal 6 months from now? What if the dealer's charging $5,000 over sticker and you too hyped to walk away? What if insurance comes back so high it wrecks your budget? What if this new turbo hybrid engine has problems Toyota hadn't caught yet? What if you're buying at the worst time and prices drop next year? And the biggest one, what if 3 months later the excitement fades and all you're left with is a massive payment for something you don't love anymore? Today, I'm answering all of it. The 2026 4Runner starts around $40,000 for the base SR5. Sounds manageable, right? But here's what Toyota ain't telling you. That $40,000 SR5, almost nobody buys it. Because the second you see the TRD Off-Road with upgraded suspension and crawl control, the base feels like you're cheating yourself. Then you peep the limited, leather, premium audio, and you think, what's another few grand? Before you know it, you're staring at the TRD Pro at $62,000, wondering how you got here. Quick breakdown. SR5, $40,000. TRD Sport, $45,000. TRD Off-Road, $48,000. Limited, $52,000. Platinum, $58,000. TRD Pro, $62,000 plus. But here's where it gets ugly. None of these include destination charges, $1,200, gone. None include dealer markups, running $3,000 to $15,000 right now, depending on your market. None include pre-installed dealer packages, paint protection, wheel locks, nitrogen tires, $2,000 to $4,000 in crap you never asked for. So that $40,000 4Runner in the ad, reality is $45,000 to $52,000 for the base. Meaningful trim, $55,000 to $75,000 once you factor in real-world pricing games. And this is just day one, before you've driven a single mile. Most buyers make one huge mistake. They focus on, can I afford the monthly payment? That question has wrecked more financial futures than I can count. Mid-trim 4Runner, $55,000 out the door, 10% down, loan of $49,500. At today's rates, 7 to 8% if credit's solid, 9 to 12% if it's not. 60-month loan, $950 to $1,100 per month. 72 months, $820 to $950 per month for 6 years. But here's the number nobody mentions. 72 months at 8%, you're paying over $12,000 just in interest. That $55,000 truck actually cost $67,000 by the last payment. Stretching the TRD Pro or Platinum, you're financing $65,000 to $70,000, interest climbing past $15,000. What else could you do with $12,000 to $15,000 over 6 years? Family vacation every year, fully loaded emergency fund, investment that compounds. Here's the trap. People get approved and think approval means affordability. But the bank don't care if you struggle. Bank only cares you qualify on paper. Is this truck worth 6 years of payments through job changes, life changes, economic chaos? The truck don't get cheaper. Your obligation stays the same. You've signed, driven home, feeling yourself. But here's where the silent drain begins. Insurance first. On a $50,000 to $60,000 truck, $180 to $350 per month. Some states, like Michigan and New York, over $4,000 per year just to drive it legally. Fuel. Toyota says 22 to 24 mpg, but real-world driving, off-road, loaded, towing, 18 to 20 mpg. That's $200 to $280 per month. Maintenance. This ain't Honda Civic numbers. Oil changes every 10,000 miles, 80 to 120 bucks, plus transmission fluid, brake fluid, coolant, differential, transfer case, adds up fast after 30,000 miles. If you're actually using it off-road, brakes wear faster, suspension wears faster, tires every 35 to 40,000 miles, 12 to 1,800 bucks for quality all-terrains. Annual ownership breakdown, insurance $2,800, fuel $2,800, maintenance $1,500. Total, roughly $7,000 per year just to keep it on the road, not including your payment, registration, parking, tolls, all the stuff that nickels and dimes you. So when someone asks what the 4Runner cost, it ain't $50,000. It's $50,000 plus $7,000 every year, until you sell it or run it into the ground. Everything so far might have you nervous, maybe sick about this purchase, but here's where the 4Runner story flips. Most vehicles lose 15 to 25% driving off the lot. Lucky 5 years in, have 50% value left. The 4Runner, freak of nature. Previous gen held 65 to 70% after 5 years, almost unheard of. Some TRD Pros sold used for more than original sticker during the pandemic. That's how bad people want this truck. Will 2026 do the same? Probably yes, but understand, first-year buyers take a small risk on that unproven turbo hybrid. No decade of data yet. Trim matters for resale. SR5 and TRD Sport depreciate fastest, most common. TRD Off-Road holds best, attracts core buyers. TRD Pro and Platinum depends on market conditions. My advice, keep in 7+ years, buy what makes you happy. Depreciation becomes irrelevant. Trading every 3 to 4 years, TRD Off-Road is your sweet spot. Here's the math nobody does. $55,000 4Runner, 65% retention after 5 years. You walk away with $35,000. $50,000 competitor at 50% retention, $25,000. $10,000 difference. The 4Runner actually costs less to own even though you paid more up front. Suddenly, that scary $50,000 price tag looks smarter than the $38,000 truck, bleeding value every month. Before my final call, let's talk alternatives. Ford Bronco, cheaper, great off-road, retro cool factor, but reliability sketchy. Interior feels cheap. Resale don't touch 4Runner. Jeep Wrangler, cult following, endless mods, but highway driving, brutal road noise, trash fuel economy, part-time vehicle, not daily driver. Lexus GX, same bones as 4Runner, 15 to 20 grand more. Land Rover Defender, looks fire until you Google reliability and realize it'll spend more time at the dealer than on trails. So here's my honest verdict after 30 years. The 2026 4Runner at 50 grand or more is not a mistake for the right buyer. Right buyer looks like this. You keep vehicles 7 years minimum, you value reliability and resale over newest tech, you'll actually use the off-road capability, you can afford the payment plus 7 grand yearly without stretching thin. If that's you, cop the truck, no regrets. But this truck is a mistake for another buyer. If you're financing 72 months just to make it work, walk away. Buying because it looks sick but you'll never leave pavement, overpaying for capability you won't use. Stretching into TRD Pro to flex while you know it hurts your wallet, emotional decision your future self will resent. Paying 10 grand markup because you can't wait 6 months, handing cash to someone banking on your impatience. So, worth 50 grand? Yes, if you're the right buyer. Painful, expensive, no, if you're not. Only you know which one you are. Drop your trim in the comments. I read every single one. Smash subscribe if you want real numbers on every major release. No deal or BS ever. Catch you in the next one.